started the recording.
Make sure your phone's on vibrate.
Make sure the phone is on vibrate, and I'm going to be hitting all this stuff out anyway. So it doesn't matter if it's an overtalking of everything else, or I should just leave it in. Just show what happens before the podcast actually starts.
Yeah.
Where I'm just sitting
Behind
here
the scenes.
moving the mic over to me. Hello.
Oh, that
How does
peaked.
that? Well, that peaked because I was moving the mic. You don't want to move the mic.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that peaked, though. You peaked it.
Welcome to the first episode of the KSUIF podcast. I am your host, Matt Ackerman. I am the KSUIF Digital Content Manager, and with me is...
Mike Tkeski. Just all-around great guy who just so happened to be roped into this.
You were roped into this?
Well, yeah, I wasn't your first choice as co-host. It was Brandon.
No, you were my first choice because you asked, but Brandon was in the office at the time, and he's like, no, I'm shy. I can't do it. Brandon is our KSUIF's vice president, and if you didn't know, head of production, always on productions, always doing stuff. All right, so do we want to get into what the podcast is really just going to be about, or do we just want to get into the stuff that we're going to talk about?
Well, you know more about like what we're going to talk about like throughout the course of like doing this.
That is very true. That is very true. So for the first episode, we just kind of wanted to give you guys a better understanding of who we are as people, so you get an understanding of who we are, of who I am, who Mike is, who I, Matt, am. So we're not going to be talking about a whole lot of stuff that's come out this year because 2019 just technically started. So for the first episode, we're mostly going to be talking about everything that came out last year that was good and that was bad.
Our personal favorites. These
are
our
favorites.
Yeah, personal favorites. I haven't seen every movie. I haven't seen a lot of movies in 2018. I was very busy. And I didn't you see more movies than me? I'm pretty sure you did have.
I saw a whole lot of new movies like around the end of the year, most likely. I don't know. I didn't see as much as I wanted to. I think that's what I want to say. I didn't see. Yeah. I saw all the Marvel that came out that year.
Yeah, anything that was like A-listed movies that are like everyone's been anticipating these movies, you know.
Right. Like the AAA like big Disney and like Warner Brothers movies that came out in that year. But 2018 was a big year for movies, and like you don't realize it until you look back on it. But a lot came out, and like of course Black Panther came out. That was the first Marvel movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I didn't see that until later in the year, for some reason.
Yeah.
It was a really good movie.
It was really good. I liked that one a lot. But I don't know. It was one of those Marvel movies that like I kind of wouldn't see again. Mm-hmm. If you know what I mean.
No, I feel
like it didn't have like the rewatchability for me. Like I'd have to wait a little bit. Like I'll definitely watch. Like I kind of want to watch it again, but I had to give it some time.
I mean, because it took me a while to watch Black Panther, even though that was really good. Because I started watching it, like I got halfway through, and then I gave up. Or I didn't say I gave up. I got busy. I got sidetracked, so I had to finish it later on.
Right.
And I eventually did. I sat in the office and I watched it for a while, and it was a good movie. Like it's interesting to see this advanced tribal sort of civilization, and you mirror it across like some urban storyline with Michael B. Jordan is such a good actor.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like if it was anybody else other than Michael B. Jordan, he wouldn't work. Like it just wouldn't work.
Are you saying Denzel Washington would not have been good in that role?
I'm not saying Denzel Washington wouldn't have been good, but I'm just saying that Michael Jordan performed so well that I wouldn't want to see anybody else. I couldn't think of anybody else who could do it.
Just like I know what you mean, because it's just like
it's like you've already engraved yourself as that character. Yeah, and you are now that character.
Like you can't see anyone else playing Tony Stark.
Yeah, I can't. Like,
or Wolverine because Hugh Jackman is no longer doing it. But like, you don't want anyone to recast him.
If they recast him, I wouldn't see it. And like a lot of people had that issue with Spider-Man when you just had like 3 different people play Spider-Man. And now, 3 people.
To be fair, there's a Spider-Verse.
There
are multiple.
About that later,
there are multiple Spider-Men.
We'll talk about that later because that did come out in 2018.
That's true. We will talk about that.
But Black Panther was a good movie. I don't really have much to say about it, though.
Infinity War also came out.
Oh yeah, Infinity War. Ooh.
See, it's always the early like January to May movies. I always forget about those movies because they're so early.
And that happened. I remember seeing Infinity War for the first time very well. I remember that day pretty clearly. Like that was the day that we were working on our final projects for digital cinematography.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
we were all talking about it.
Yeah, we were working on mine, and it was just a day where everybody was working on it. We worked on Matt's, or you worked on Matt's. Everyone else just kind of sat off to the
I
side.
co-directed
And I got sun poisoning, but I ended up working on it later on. But no, like that was a day because I remember the entire day, and I remember watching the entire thing of Infinity War, and that was don't look at the peaks on the.
Sorry, I'm just making sure we're not peaking.
Don't look at the monitor. We're not peaking.
Sorry.
We're fine. We're getting the good amount of levels. If not,
I'm just making sure.
It's pain on me if I have to edit.
I'm not a soundy like Scott wants us to be,
Scott Hallgren sponsor us. But no, I remember watching Infinity War for the first time because I remember around that point I was getting tired of Marvel. Like I just thought, everything that's come out is just kind of blasé. Like I thought Thor Ragnarok was good.
Oh, that one was
I
like
thought
my
it was
favorite.
great. I was like, oh, cool, Marvel's redeeming themselves. Like they're doing really good. But I didn't see Ragnarok until later on too, because I stopped watching Marvel like as it came out because I thought it was just gonna be the same exact thing.
I had that same feeling around after seeing Ant-Man. Like right as I saw Ant-Man, I was like, I kind of need a break from like Marvel movies a bit.
When did Ant-Man come out? Was that 2017 or 2016?
It was I think it was 16 or 17. We have technology here. We can easily just look it up, but I'm just going to guess.
I mean, if Ant-Man and the Wasp...
I think it's 16.
2016?
17 was Spider-Man, and they were both come out.
It was 2015.
It was 15. I was close.
Wow. But anyway, yeah, I didn't watch Ant-Man until... Wow, I think it was well after Civil War.
Really?
So, well, even then, that's 2016. So
Civil War was 16.
I didn't exactly miss anything. But anyway, back to Infinity War. I thought, I wasn't going to get much, but it was a huge payoff.
It was.
Like,
it really was.
I'm a huge fan of crossovers when it comes to anything. And Marvel, they succeeded at everything. When it comes to Avengers, like, you just get it. I can't say the same about Age of Ultron. But
honestly, you know what? I'm indifferent on that one. I liked it the first time I've seen it, but I haven't seen it since. I've
only seen it twice.
One viewing. I had one viewing of it, and I was like, you know what? It's not bad. And then I only heard bad things.
I've only seen Age of Ultron once.
Yeah.
And then everything else was just, like, clips. No, actually, I saw it twice. I saw it once with my friends and another one with my dad. And then that was kind of it. If I saw it, it would probably be other clips. Or maybe just, like, Quicksilver not being able to run fast enough, and that bothers me. But Infinity War, back to that. And on this, probably the best movie I saw in 2018 until, it was It was the best movie for the summer.
I think it was the best. It was the best at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it was the best. It was definitely the most hyped up, and the most interesting to see being like because they bumped up the release date. Remember, it was supposed to come out in May,
that's right.
It came out in April.
Yeah, they bumped it up a week, I think.
Whoa. I don't know if no one heard that vibration. Huh.
We'll check the recording later.
Check the recording later if there's a vibration.
It's all right. Just cut it out. Just cut that out.
Yeah, I'll just cut out the vibration. You didn't hear that. But it was a good movie, and it pays off very well. And it got I think that movie got the most emotional reaction out of me out of any movie I saw the year.
See, I went to the campus or Kent Plaza to see it.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of Kent College students there, and it was the most fun I've had in a theater.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because everyone was freaking out about and reacting to it, and it was when I was there, I was like, this is not live. Like it felt like a live it was a live viewing, obviously, but it felt like a live performance from the actors and everything. It was just insane.
When I was sitting there, because the first time I saw it with a bunch of people from TV2 and Kyle Eads mostly, who I think had seen it before, or because we watched it a little bit later. Like it came out that day before, then we watched the next day. But I was sitting next to Kyle Eads, and he was just kind of the most active. Ooh,
bumped my mic. Sorry about that. We'll cut that out.
We're amateurs if you don't realize this. But
just took a sip of my coffee and just completely bumped it. All right.
But he was the most animated person in that theater because I was sitting right next to him. He would be like, "Hold on," like
there was a lot of people like that.
The moment he would snap his fingers, like
Yeah.
Oh, like he did it. Like, oh, so he snapped. Because I didn't know that Thanos snapped. I didn't realize it at that moment. All I saw was you should have gone for the head, and Thor saying no, and then like
Whoa,
Eads was
all
just
right,
like snap.
spoilers. I'm just kidding. I'm just
Spoiler
kidding.
alert: everyone in the Marvel universe is dead. Half the people in the Marvel universe is dead.
Right.
But
we really shouldn't dwell too much on Marvel movies.
But like, no, yeah, I don't want to dwell too much because there's a lot of stuff that came out. Aquaman.
I didn't see Aquaman.
I didn't see Aquaman either.
I did not see it. The very first trailer for Aquaman completely turned me off of it. Mm-hmm. Like I was interested when I was like, oh, they're making an Aquaman movie, and then when I saw the first full trailer, that was just this super vibrant CG underwater like stuff. I was like, no, I'm not seeing this.
I gave up on the DC universe movies. At least I gave up on the movies very quickly.
They have great animated movies though.
They do. Their animation department, like actually drawing out everything.
Yeah,
they're really good at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They're talented. They're great people. I love the animation department for DC, and I also like DC TV. I love DC TV most of the time when it's not so drama filled and kind of like campy. I still love it to death. I love The Flash to death, but I hate DC movies so much with a passion because they get their world, like they get this like dark gritty world that they're trying to work with because Christopher Nolan was like, hey, Batman's really dark. Great. But like now they're trying to bring that into light, and when you bring characters that you don't, I got so mad at Justice League, even though that came out like the year before.
I didn't see that one either.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't recommend anybody watch Justice League if you're a fan of DC because they get every single character wrong. They got the Flash wrong mostly. Like they got his backstory wrong completely, and they tried to make him like a totally different character, and that bothered me so much. But I did like Aquaman. I like Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa is just this great animated person. But I don't know. I want to see Aquaman, and I hear that it's a fun, dumb movie.
Yeah. The best thing I've heard is if the director for that basically committed to making Aquaman like Thor, like for Ragnarok, you know, like if they had, because the Aquaman movie definitely could have been that for the DC universe if it was like the Thor equivalent,
right?
I mean, it would have been definitely copying at some points, but I mean, they could have put their own twist to it and spin on it to make it like, because he seems to be more that like laid back, chill character who's like, yeah, I'm a half human, half Atlantean.
Like
who's just a
Fish.
badass. Yeah.
Like they attempted really hard to give these characters personality. Wonder Woman worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
I saw her movie. It was good.
I really liked Wonder Woman. I really did. I'm not much of a fan of Gal Gadot. Most of the stuff that she's in, I actually haven't seen her act that much. Like I haven't seen Keeping Up with the Joneses that like.
She was in one of the Fast Furious movies. I think it was Fast 5.
Yeah, she was in one of those, but I feel like she was there mostly for eye candy.
Yeah.
To say the least. But I don't know. Maybe she actually had a good character. I'm speaking out of my ass here. But sometimes the universe doesn't work with the character you're given. In Aquaman, I feel like he's too campy to be so like he's too animated and his world is so weird to be in the DC universe, or the DC universe movies.
Yeah.
But
I kind of I'm looking at one of the posters right now when he's in his actual like yellow orange suit.
That.
I kind of don't like that they kept with that design.
I feel like
they modernized it a little bit, but I wish they would have like, I don't know, done something different, new.
I understand what they were trying to go with to at least kind of give it that authentic look.
Yeah.
Because all of the characters in DC, like they have their authentic look. But when you looked at Aquaman in Justice League, he definitely looked unique.
Yeah, he did.
And he looked like, oh, this is a definitely new character. But whenever I look at Jason Momoa in that, I think Mermaid Man.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of like just like it's so colorful when it shouldn't be.
You know who deserves a movie? Neymar.
Name what?
He's the Marvel equivalent of Aquaman.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, my god. They have so many equivalents when it comes to. Because Marvel has taken a lot from DC, I think in some aspects.
Is his name Neymar?
what is it? Wade Wilson and Deathstroke. Oh, hey, Deadpool 2 came out that year too.
It did. Wow, smooth transition.
Yeah,
into
holy
that.
good smooth transition. And I was trying to bring it into like, how the hell am I going to
I
talk
think
about
it's
Deadpool
Namor.
2? But what?
I think his name's Namor, not Neymar. Namor. Yep,
Do you have a picture of him? Let me see.
I do. He's basically shirtless Aquaman.
Shirtless. So pretty much Justice League Aquaman.
Yeah,
And-
he looks, I think, way cooler.
You
know
think
what?
so?
I mean, not in this picture. Here,
Let's
take a look. This is great for the audio portion.
That, I mean, yeah, Namor, Namor.
yeah.
Joe Jusko. Yeah, he looks just like Aquaman. He has that pose, but like
Oh yeah.
it's
I
like
don't-
it's like if Michael Phelps decided to become Aquaman and carry around a hook.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2 came out,
Saw
and
that one. It was good.
I wasn't that much of a fan of Deadpool 2.
I didn't like it as much as the first one.
Yeah, I feel like I knew what I wanted to, or what I expected from Deadpool 2. Where it's just like, oh, it's going to be just, I didn't want to say a cash grab, but it's just going to be a fun little Deadpool movie. Like, that's mostly what Deadpool is. Like, hey, watch Ryan Reynolds basically be himself in a red suit and get shot a lot and heal
accurate.
himself. Yeah.
Accurate.
And he's chasing after Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I don't know, it's good. And then like they did do like a Christmas version of Deadpool 2 at the end of the year.
Yeah,
right?
they did.
Once Upon a Deadpool.
It was the PG-13. It was Deadpool 2 redone and edited to be PG-13 with I think it's the actor from The Princess Bride. Like the story was that Deadpool kidnaps him, the kid, and like reads to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, the kid's an adult now. But
Yeah,
like,
he
I forget-
kidnaps him, brings him to like his childhood room or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
and then forces him to listen to the story of Deadpool 2.
yeah, I don't know. I felt like that was a very.
I didn't see Once Upon a Deadpool, though.
I didn't want to because I felt like it was just that was a cash grab.
Well, I didn't know what it was about, to be honest. I thought they like just had a recut of like some extra Deadpool footage that they didn't use or something like that.
Yeah.
From like 1 and 2.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But I guess it did turn out to just be a recut of Deadpool 2.
Because I mean that, like I don't know. I've never really seen a movie do that where they just re-release a movie in theaters.
I mean, it's different. I mean,
I feel like that'd be like an interesting like, hey, we're re-releasing Deadpool straight to Blu-ray, and like pick it up.
this definitely seems like it would have been like a thing that
Because
they
it
would
costs a
put
whole
on.
lot of like it costs a lot to push a movie into the box office.
Yeah.
So like them doing that for just Christmas, I guess, is kind of.
I wonder how they sold that. How they sold that to the production company of like, hey, let us recut Deadpool 2 to be PG-13 to re-release.
Because who
in
was
December.
the production company for Deadpool 2? It was like
It's Fox, isn't it?
Was it Fox? It was Fox.
Yeah, it's Fox.
Yeah, it was Fox because like Disney bought out Fox and
Mhm.
all that stuff, and there was a talk about Deadpool. So, yeah, like I guess they just said, "Hey, we're just." I mean, I don't know. Fox is a very weird, like, company.
Yeah.
They don't know when to end things,
They
and
were-
they also end things that are good too early,
yeah.
like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, or
Oh, we'll get into that later.
we'll talk about that.
It's coming back.
It's coming back. It's on, but like and then also they can't cancel The Simpsons, but that's just I digress. Deadpool 2 was okay,
Yeah.
at least to me.
A movie that I really enjoyed and hate, and this is why part of the reason why I hate Disney now. Solo.
Oh God, Solo.
I really liked Solo
Mm-hmm.
way more than Rogue One,
Mm-hmm.
and I only liked it because it showed a part of that universe, that Star Wars universe, that you don't see in the core movies, you know?
Yeah.
Because the core movies always follow like the Skywalker lineage and Jedi and everything. Like you get to learn that aspect of the universe.
Mm.
But in Solo, you get to see the like real gritty underground, like everyday, almost like the everyday people.
It's kind of like an underground.
Because one of my favorite lines was when they're it's in one of the very first scenes, when they're trying to leave the planet Corellia,
Mm-hmm.
and what's her name? She says something to Han like,
Kira.
yeah, Kira says something to Han like, hey, like we have no protection when we leave. Like they're about to leave, and she said that she's trying to tell him like we have no protection if we leave. We're gonna get picked up by like slave traders or something. And that's, to me, I'm like, that opens up a whole new like part of the universe that you don't think about, because it's like it's at a prime time when like the Empire is still trying to grab at trying to gain control over everything again. And that's why they're like on Kashyyyk fighting, and you run into Chewie for the first time.
That Chewie, like, I like Solo a whole lot.
Yeah.
For mostly its prologue, sort of, we're giving you answers to things that you probably didn't have questions about, but always wondered.
That was another thing that I always heard from people.
How did Han Solo meet Chewbacca? How did he meet these people? Like, you didn't see that in the prequels. You saw the Wookiees in the prequels, and you knew where they came from, but you didn't know how Han and Chewie know each other. But like, they answer a whole lot of questions, like where did Han get his ship? Why? How does he know Lando? What happened here? And I think that's my whole gripe with Star Wars is the fan base most of the time. Yeah, they get so like. I don't want to say
they always think they know what's best for it,
because
but,
like it's a pretty, like, what, it came out in the 1970s, right? So it's a 50. Is it a 50? No, it's a 40.
It's 50.
It's a 50-year-old.
The very first one, it's I think 50. From the first one.
Then it's like that old of a property, and there's so much that has come out for Star Wars that like we know what the prequel works and it doesn't work with this canonization or whatever. And I get that. I get that people who are like really deep into a story, they don't really want to see another part of it, and they're like, oh, now I have to figure out where this fits in the story. How do these people know each other? And other people, they do that, and they're like, oh, now that's exciting because it opens up this door. Because you kind of wonder, because the way that I feel like they set up Solo, at least at the end of it, was like, oh, we're gonna get an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie now because for some reason Darth Maul is still alive. Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Well, from what I heard after I went to see that movie for the first time, they were set to do, it was supposed to be a mini trilogy of Solo, because they had Han's actor set to do 2 more. And they were gonna, I guess, I don't know what they were gonna continue. I guess they were gonna dive more into, if you haven't seen it, Darth Maul shows up at the end. Yeah. And they were gonna dive into, I think they were gonna dive into more of like that criminal circle, because the whole like movie talked about how like the criminal underground and like criminal gangs of the Star Wars universe, right, and how they're their own set of rules for being involved with them. Because another one of my favorite lines too was when Kira told Han, like, there's no, like, this isn't a game, you don't win, it's just how long you can stay in it.
That's a good
line. Like,
at least they didn't cut that out of the movie like they did with Rogue One, where we're rebels, right? I rebel. And that wasn't even in the, is that even the line? I don't know what it is. It was something along those lines, but it was cut out from the movie entirely.
No, I think it's still in.
No, it isn't.
I'm pretty sure.
It's not like the we're rebels, like I rebel. I don't remember hearing that in the movie at all. Like, I saw it in the trailer. Maybe I'm just remembering.
Yeah,
like it was in the trailer, but they cut that out of the film where, okay, I guess we don't get that line. Yeah. And Rogue One was his own special story because it was a direct prequel. Or it was like a I don't know.
It was a prequel.
It was a prequel. It's Star Wars like 3.9. It ends right at the start of A New Hope.
Oh yeah.
And that's interesting. Solo just kind of, I don't know where it is.
Solo's like, I kind of want to say it's like 10 or like 15 years before A New Hope, supposedly.
Like 10 or 15 years, so it's kind of like in between 2 and 3, like episode 2 and 3 maybe.
No, I think that's still too early.
Yeah, it's still too early.
Because the Empire is like taking over right now.
That's true. So it's probably
it's definitely after 3.
It's definitely after
before 3. I think it's before Rogue One too, because
because we did have Han Solo joining the Empire to like fight.
Yeah. And I think someone in Solo mentions how there's a like the Rebellion Alliance is starting to form, So I definitely place it before Rogue One. Like,
Yeah.
far before
And that's
Rogue
and
One.
that's what people get mad at when it comes to Solo, because they don't know where to put the
Yeah.
movie. Like, where does it go canonically? Like,
Well, and also, like, from what I've heard, people just don't care. Like,
That's
they didn't
true.
care. They didn't care for that story. And
also, like, that did come out around the same time as Deadpool 2.
no, but the reason why I hate it, that's true, it did.
Yeah.
But the reason why I hate it is that it came out right after everyone was furious on The Last Jedi. And was so, because The Last Jedi came out in December, then Solo came out in May,
Yeah, it came out in May.
and it was just like,
Was it on May 4th? May the 4th be with you?
I don't think so.
That'd be interesting if it did come out that year. I don't know. Solo's its own thing. Solo is its own thing, and I place it at that. It's, if someone likes it, that's great. It may not have made itself there. It's kind of like a story that didn't need to be told.
That's what I hear a lot. Is people say, like, it's a story that they didn't care about. They didn't want to know.
Yeah.
They just were like, Han's this cool
But
guy.
I appreciate it. It's a
Like,
good movie for what it
yeah.
is. I want to place it in its own little thing where it's a heist movie, because it is a heist movie, and it plays itself very well as that. And what's his name from who plays Vision in
oh, I know who you're talking about.
but he's
Paul something.
Paul Bettany?
Yes, Paul.
Yeah,
Bettany.
Paul Bettany. He is, I guess, the main villain
Mm-hmm.
of Solo.
Yeah.
And he plays himself pretty good. And like they have a good cast of people. They have Donald Glover and they have Emilia Clarke. You got Woody Harrelson, which is something odd. I never expected to see Woody Harrelson in a Star Wars movie, but even then, I'm kind of just looking at like Han Solo or just Solo as its own fun little like heist movie in the Star Wars universe.
They have
Portrayed as
John.
Han Solo.
They have Jon Favreau as one of the one of the pilots, like for the Woody Harrelson's
Yeah, so
crew.
you got a lot of people that came into that movie just for the
Yeah.
hell of it, and that's good. I appreciate it for what it is. People might not have liked Solo, but I've only watched Solo once, and if I go back and watch it,
I've seen it a couple times. You know what? I just like it. I don't know. It's just a fun movie to watch.
it's fun if you kind of just. I understand they're like trying to give backstory to a major character.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could have done that with Jar Jar Binks, but
No, probably not.
I would love to see that done with Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
But like, okay. What else came out in 2018? You got Incredibles 2.
Oh yeah.
That's a
I did not see it in theaters, but I did see it.
Yeah.
I did see it when
I
it
saw
came
it like
out.
how many times did I see Incredibles 2? I think I saw it. I feel like I saw it 3 times, but I think I saw it twice. Because I saw it with everybody else at the drive-in, and then I saw it with my friends at a theater later on.
I think it was too overhyped, and then when
Yeah.
I went to see it, it didn't. I don't know. Like, it didn't have that same. Like, the first one was really good.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the first one over and over again. But then this one, I only seen it once, and I think I'm only gonna see it once because it definitely was good, and the animation was incredible for it.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it was
Pixar
so
has
good.
done so well at improving their animation quality over the years. Like with Incredibles 2, like if you compare it to Incredibles 1, you can see just the material, like the cloth on the clothes.
You can see the
everyone's wearing.
texture.
You can see so much texture in the hair and the skin most of the time. But like the art style and everything that works, it's supposed to be set in like what, 1950s, 1960s?
60s, I think.
Yeah. And they do so well at bringing that into it, and it makes it look like, God, Brad Bird is such a good artist.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good. He's so good at what he does, bringing these worlds together. Because the city that they're in, with all these tall
skyscrapers.
Yeah, tall skyscrapers. I don't know why. But like it's so like, I don't know why I love the sight of just like, yeah, we're going to a big major city and like it's just nothing but tall skyscrapers that look the same. I don't know why that looks so interesting to me. Like I know that the city, like the roads beneath it are just bland as hell, but looking at a skyline like that, it's so cool. And that's what Incredibles 2 does well, is like the backgrounds, the settings, and like this. Like I can't say much about the story because it's an incredible story.
Yeah.
The villains are bad. We can't have the villain, or the not the villains. The heroes are bad. We can't have heroes messing up our city.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to help. I want to bring back the hero. Okay, that's great. And the person that's helping bring back the hero, it's either someone or someone that they're, or it's either them or someone that they're related to, causing the problem. And
Right.
I don't know why Screenslaver, that was the name of the villain, didn't appeal to me. But then again, this is a story that's kind of like meant for us and younger viewers.
Mm-hmm.
So like the younger viewers may not have picked up on that like immediately, like, oh, she or someone that they're related to is a Screenslaver. But it works well for some things, like if they do callbacks or if they do something that is relatable to us. You know, like I don't know what was a funny scene that happened in Incredibles 2.
Jack fighting the raccoon.
Yeah, that scene came to mind, and like another one was like Violet spitting like water out of her nose.
Oh yeah,
because that's funny animation. While if you watch that frame by frame, it's beautiful. It is gorgeous. And then like I don't know, a lot of it that kind of just features around the family itself is funny. Because I think that's what it's meant to do. Because when you got the action in it is really good too. They do play very well with Elastigirl's abilities, especially with her bike. It can come apart.
Yeah, that was cool.
Somehow
that was really cool.
Maintain both and just ride on the walls. That is cool. But like, I don't know. You just think back at it. It's someone's gonna like. No one here is really gonna like die. There's no real consequence here.
Yeah.
And like. There's this moment where all hope is lost. Like, you just kind of think back about how a story is supposed to go. Like, oh, all hope is lost, and wait a minute, there's this shining light, the clouds part, and, like, that moment is, like, they realize, or they're on the ship or something.
Well,
like
to the, we're DMP majors,
so
we have to know.
We're meant to kind of just analyze a film and be like, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, my dad sits in his house, and he, like, sits in the couch and watches old Star Trek. And I'll come in every once in a while, and I'll look and see what he does. And I'm watching this show, and I'm blown away by how much the light changes with every shot change.
Yeah.
Like it's like they have one light, and they only focus it on what they're like looking at.
Yeah, this major has definitely ruined.
It's ruined
all types of.
But like, I don't think
like,
Star Trek was even that good to begin with.
Yeah.
Hot take. Star Trek, like the original Star Trek was just it. Sure, it did good for whatever, but. I digress.
I've never seen it.
Incredibles 2, its own. It's a Pixar film. It's a really good Pixar film.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Pixar hasn't had that good of a track record recently, or like before them, because they had The Good Dinosaur that didn't do that good.
I still kind of want to see it though.
I kind of want to see what it's about. It just like, what if the dinosaurs never went extinct? And it's just like, oh, they just be continuing on. Cool. But
another movie that came out though. A Quiet Place. I completely forgot that came out.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot. Oh, and a lot of other things. Yeah, but A Quiet Place, that came out. I still haven't seen it.
I watched it in October, and it was really good. But I feel like some of it was, like, the excitement for it was lost for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't see it in theaters, like, with friends or anything. I just was like, oh, I'm going to rent it or something off of the Microsoft Movie Store just to watch it. And it was still like good, but I think because I knew a lot about it, it just wasn't as much of a horror film to me. Like, it didn't seem like it was definitely suspenseful. And
it looks like a thriller.
Yeah, it definitely played off as more of a thriller to me.
Because it just kind of, it piques your attention where it's, wow, okay, we can't do this one thing in the film. How is that going to play out?
Yeah, it was a really smart idea.
Yeah, and John Krasinski wrote that too.
He
directed.
Did. Yeah.
What a, man, John Krasinski is just, and his wife starred in that too. He and his wife starred. He wrote, directed, and starred in it.
Mm-hmm.
He's better than Tommy Wiseau. So that's, I don't know.
I definitely am excited for the follow-up to that because I know that they're going to make a second one.
They're making a second A Quiet Place?
Yes.
Did they set it up to the point where you could do a sequel?
Well, I don't know if it's going to continue based off of
be
like
a Cloverfield sort of thing where like what happens on the other side of the
world.
Yeah,
I think it's supposed to be a like this is what's happening at this part of the world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's going to be just like a follow-up to like something else that's happening somewhere else, you know. I don't know how. I'm basically just rephrasing what I just said.
Yeah.
But
A Quiet Place. Speaking of quiet and kind of like suspenseful thrillers, I wouldn't want to say quiet. I don't know why I said quiet, but Predator.
Oh, you mean The Predator?
The Predator.
The Predator. Oh, God.
I'm looking at the trailer, or like the box art that they put on
For The Predator?
Yeah, and it looks like a spoiler to me.
What, with the giant one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was definitely...
That's a full-on spoiler.
Yeah.
If I feel like if that actually came out, because like,
if you don't know what Matt's looking at, it's the poster of the larger predator holding the regular size predator's head ripped from its body in its hand.
And it's odd looking at that, because when we watched the film, he was like a main villain for like the first half of the movie.
Yeah, he was.
And then the second half of the movie, that happens, and then it's just him with that guy.
That movie was a big disappointment for me.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. It just didn't do it. Like,
it was like I stepped back into that motion where, oh, it's blood and gore and it's fun violence sort of thing.
I think that one definitely could have been a lot better.
It could have been. I just feel like
I think they were trying too hard.
I feel like at some point we should stop bringing back old properties and make them better. Like what they're.
I mean, you're talking bringing back old properties. What about Halloween that just came out?
Okay, but Halloween has had how many iterations?
Yeah, but that's true. But this one that just came out was supposed to completely retcon all of those ones.
Oh, just kind of.
This one was supposed to be I didn't see it, but I really wanted to. Is the like sure follow up to the very first John Carpenter's Halloween. Like this one that came out is the second one.
So it's just kind of like what they're doing with Ghostbusters now.
I guess.
It's what they just released a trailer or like a teaser trailer for a new Ghostbusters film that's coming out in 2020. Yeah, like
I didn't see that.
Was it Jason Reisman released He released a trailer or a very teaser trailer for like the Ghostbusters movie that's coming out in 2020, and it's supposed to be set in the original universe with Dan Aykroyd and
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. It's supposed to be set in that universe, and of course after Ghostbusters 2. So that would be Ghostbusters 3 technically, but also not including Ghostbusters 2017. When did that was it, or was it 2016? When did that SNL Ghostbusters come out?
The SNL Ghostbusters.
I mean, I'm gonna call it SNL Ghostbusters because it just feels like it was made whenever. What's her name from SNL? I totally forget her name, but she's in that movie.
Melissa McCarthy and.
Oh yeah, you got Kristen Wiig too.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig.
So like you got.
It was 2016.
Yeah, that came out in 2016, and then you got Chris Hemsworth in there too. So like I don't know.
Also didn't see that one.
I didn't see that either, and it's not for the reasons like everyone else had a problem with it. Like they had a political.
I was
problem.
Interested in it.
I was definitely interested in see what they were doing. Like I thought it would be like in the same universe, but it's just a totally different story. Mm-hmm. And I understand that they wanna tell a reinterpretation. Maybe
I'm all for that more than anything.
Yeah.
More than bringing back an old property. I'm more into let's bring it back, but switch up the formula.
Like let's make it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, like I know a lot of people had problems with Daisy Ridley, or at least now they do.
Yeah.
But when I first found out, I was like, oh, so it's gonna be a female lead for Star Wars. I was like, that's great, because from all the other Star Wars movies, it was always like male leads and everything. Mm-hmm. So I was like,
yeah, let's switch up the formula.
Yeah, let's switch it up a bit.
Let's put it up there, because when did The Force Awakens come out? Was that 2015?
That was 2017.
2017, really?
Pretty sure. Or no.
No, yeah, because Rogue One came out. Last Jedi came out in 2017. Rogue One came out 2016. So, yeah, Force Awakens came out 2015.
Yeah, it was.
So that was definitely kind of like the start of bringing in bigger female leads. Mm-hmm. Which is great because Daisy Ridley holds her own.
But also Disney's going a little too far with it, I think.
That is true. Well, Disney's going a little bit too far with a lot of their properties.
Oh yeah.
And that says a whole lot. Is that still recording? I hope it's still recording.
No, yeah, it's still recording.
Yeah, we're at 39 minutes.
Wow, 39. All right, cool.
I see how this records where it just kind of bunches up the audio.
Yeah.
So I just can't tell whether it's still recording or not. But it.
No, yeah, we're recording. We're good.
Oh yeah, it just moved. Crisis averted. It's the first episode. I'm a little bit worried.
But
first date kind of.
I want to get off the, A-list movies and go to movies that, because we can go all day talking about like movies that were like most anticipated, like Mission Impossible Fallout. Didn't see that one.
We're not going to talk about that. I didn't watch that either, so we wouldn't really have much to say.
Not much of a Mission Impossible
But I'm tired of seeing Mission Impossible because Tom Cruise.
He broke his foot on that one. I think
he did, and
he
released on Twitter a teaser of some graphic for Mission Impossible where it's like, oh, something's coming out in 2019 and 2020 or 2020 and 2021. I don't know.
Yeah,
and that's great. I don't want more Mission Impossible.
You know what? Okay, so before we started, I told you how I didn't see a lot of bad movies because I will never see a movie. I will go based off the trailer, and then that's why I didn't see Aquaman.
Right.
And Venom. I didn't see Venom because of the trailers.
I didn't see Venom either because I just didn't like his style. But
yeah,
I hear it's good.
But because I like Jurassic Park, I saw Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Why?
And that was probably my biggest disappointment of all the movies I saw.
If you want to talk about bringing back properties and doing them well, they did not do that well with Jurassic Park.
I thought Jurassic World wasn't as bad.
But I knew where it was going to go.
Yeah.
Because, you bring in,
Fallen Kingdom, they tried to do... They basically kept riding on the whole hybrid, messing with genetics research and everything.
It's we have a dinosaur that's bigger and badder than the T-Rex. You remember the T-Rex from the first movie? Well, screw that. And we're bringing this hybrid.
Yeah. And that's what they did for Jurassic World and for Fallen Kingdom, is they just kept riding that... we made a hybrid of dinosaurs.
Welcome, we're Toyota.
Yeah. And now so much to the fact that I guess for the last part of Jurassic World, the last follow-up to that, they're not going to have a hybrid dinosaur. Which it's good, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm invested in it anymore to see it.
I don't like that. Where I feel like the best kind of thing would be make it a payoff. Instead of having the hybrid in the first movie, talk up this hybrid, say what it could do, and just have these simulations of it's not a real hybrid, but that's what it could be, and getting to the point in the end where, oh my God, we have this hybrid and it's doing such a big, such massive damage to whatever they're on, right?
Yeah, and I mean
so this is what I've been waiting for. It's either a payoff or a mess up, and
yeah.
It's a big, I don't know.
But they're just trying to do this thing with, Dr. Wu, who's their lead geneticist, and who's been making these hybrids and everything. And they're just keep following, how he's the main antagonist of this trilogy now. Because he's you can't stop research, you can't stop science. I'm going to keep making things.
You can't stop science.
Yeah.
We know how to do science. If you stop science, then you're stopping me, and you can't stop me.
So they build him up as the main antagonist. And at the end of Fallen Kingdom, spoiler if you really care.
Spoiler alert.
All the dinosaurs that were on the first island are now released into the world. They're no longer on the island. They're just...
Oh, no. That happened in, Jurassic Park 2, I think?
No.
There was a part in, the original...
Oh, no, yeah, that did.
One of the Jurassic Parks where,
in
a
the
dinosaur was released on San Diego.
Yeah, in Jurassic Park, The Lost World, they brought the buck T-Rex. Look, I know so much about these movies because I've seen it so many times.
The buck T-Rex.
But they brought the male T-Rex to the States because they were going to make... Jurassic Park San Diego, which was basically, it was bringing dinosaurs from
it felt like a King Kong sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's
we're
what
gonna take it from its habitat to the U.S. and nothing bad is obviously gonna happen.
Yeah,
but
they did that before.
I have a big gripe against
and I don't know what they're gonna do now for this third one. I'm sure it's gonna follow the same thing, same there's dinosaurs now just out in the world, Look out in your backyard. There's a dinosaur.
All right. No, there's a dinosaur peeking in your window. You like that when a dinosaur peeks into your window and its eyes dilate?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's scary.
If you see a T-Rex, don't move.
If you see a T-Rex, don't move. It's like a big bear. If you just make yourself bigger than the T-Rex, it's not gonna attack you. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Jurassic anything anymore.
I really like
Dinosaurs
those movies.
used to be cool.
I really like those movies. I still like dinosaurs, and I think I'm on the fence if I'm gonna go see this last Jurassic World.
Yeah. You know what movie I saw? I think. Did you ever see it?
Which one?
Did you ever see Crazy Rich Asians?
No, yeah, we saw that together.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah,
we went with a group of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a good movie.
It was.
It's such a different. I want to say
it's out of my spectrum of movies to go see.
Yeah, like I wouldn't have watched it if someone said we're all gonna watch this movie, and I thought, yeah, whatever. Because I heard about it, and people were saying it's a big. I guess it's a big win for the Asian American actors and community and all that.
When I first,
it shows. It's a really good film.
It was really good, and when I first saw the trailers for it, I did what I did with Baby Driver. I shook my head like, oh, looks ridiculous. But then, like Baby Driver, both really good movies.
Yeah.
Like I scoffed at it and rolled my eyes, and then when I went to see it, it blew me away. It was great.
But God, Crazy Rich Asians is amazing because it's such a good movie, and it made back its budget.
Yeah.
Because it got a box office of $238.5 million, and its budget was $30 million. And that shows that it was $30 million budget, because everything that they did was expensive. Everything looked expensive.
Oh yeah.
And if they weren't crazy rich now, they're definitely crazy. If they weren't crazy then, they are now. But no, it's really good, and it's based off a book too.
Is it really?
Yeah, by Kevin Kwan. He wrote a book, and then they decided to make. It's weird, but it's so good, and the actors are really good, and also like the music is like. The music, like, there's Coldplay by Yellow, but I forget which language it was. Was it Chinese or was it Korean?
I feel like I want to say Korean, but it's probably Chinese. I think it's Chinese. Mandarin.
Singapore. Yeah. So it's
Mandarin then. Probably.
Yeah. But like that.
We could look
was
it up,
such a good touch. It was kind of like blending two cultures together. Yeah. Because that's essentially what the movie is. Because the main character, the girl, was not she's not the typical.
She was raised and I think born in America.
Yeah, she was raised.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
She was raised in America, I believe.
Yeah, her character was, I think, born in America because her mother moved immigrated to the States.
I believe. Hopefully, it tells me something. Her name is Rachel, if that's anything. But it. Oh yeah, she had no idea that her boyfriend was
rich. Yeah.
Yeah, so she had no idea. It's like, by the way, I'm rich. Cha-ching! Wow, we own a big hotel, which is that's crazy. It's because the movie starts out with the characters. I want to say grandmother, the not character, Nick's grandmother or whatever, getting into the hotel. We now own this hotel.
Yeah, because she married I think she married somebody who then bought the hotel. I think her husband was already super rich and then just decided to buy the hotel.
It's like watching London Tipton from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Wow, what a callback.
I mean, is it not like she owns a hotel?
No, yeah,
and a cruise line. The Tiptons own a whole lot. She's eventually gonna inherit that and maybe run it into the ground because she's not that smart. But I don't know. But Crazy Rich Asians was a good film, especially for someone like me who isn't really into that sort of romantic storyline sort of thing. It felt like a not to sound odd, but like a chick flick. It wasn't a chick flick to me.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
It wasn't over the top. The movie that was over the top that everyone forgot about that I saw was Mamma Mia 2.
Oh, God. Yeah, I didn't see that. I did not see that movie.
Thank God you didn't. It was not fun. I mean, of course, I'm in the audience with everybody else, right? And we're having the time of our life. I forgot who I was sitting next to.
I forgot that came out last year.
I did too, until I remembered chick flick, and I thought of what is the chick flick. Like Mamma Mia 2, that is over the top chick flick where everybody is singing and dancing, and there's sad moments when there doesn't need to be sad moments. I cannot deal with ABBA. I hate. Oh God, I have so much to say about Mamma Mia. Oh, do we have time? We have time. Mamma Mia is awful.
I mean, if you can just end it there, because there's a few other movies that I kind of want to get through too.
Oh no, there's one that I wanna talk about too, other than Mamma Mia. But Mamma Mia 2, it just kind of goes to show, or like the story about Mamma Mia 2 is just how much like, what's her face? Like Amanda Seyfried's mom is just like, yeah, I had sex with 3 guys, and I don't know which one I got pregnant by. And we still don't, well, we do kind of know which one.
Oh, did that finally pay off?
No. It didn't. We kind of get an understanding. But it all happens so soon, and just the music doesn't fit when it needs to. In, like, the last moment, like, Cher is in the movie, and there's, like, this one guy who helps tend the island or whatever, and there's this party at the end of it, and Cher comes in. It's her grandmother, and there's this moment where this guy and Cher lock eyes, and Cher turns to him after he like called out her name, and she goes, Fernando? And they go straight into Fernando by ABBA, and I'm sitting there just like, why? Why would you do that? I
definitely could not sit through a movie like that.
I could not sit through.
I'd feel too uncomfortable.
Why
and
I
just
sat
like,
through
this is
it.
this
I don't
cringe.
know why I sat through it. I think it's just because I had to see it. It was just that bad, like the Emoji Movie. I sat through that.
Did not see that. I don't. If you hate anybody in your life, give them the Emoji Movie on Blu-ray.
No, it's on Netflix. Just
No. Buy it, and give it to them as a gift. That way, they have a physical version of it.
No, you can't buy it. You gotta like find the dollar bin at Walmart and give it to them, because even then it's just kind of throwing away $1. I didn't want to throw away money for that. I feel bad that I even watched that.
It's more. Netflix costs way more than
no, like the biggest
bin.
The biggest thing about Netflix is because it's on Netflix, you can like start it and it'll be in your continued watching thing forever. So what I did was one day, because I went over to like
turned it on and then just turned off your TV.
I went over to like Sean's apartment. And, like, while I was sitting there, I just, like, went to Netflix and turned on the Emoji Movie and then turned it back off. And it was just there forever until someone finally finished it. So I wasn't alone. And that day I just started to...
I guess that's the real thing, is to just completely just do that to somebody. But, yeah. Did not
just
see...
send me a snap saying, is it podcast season?
Is it Yeah.
It's podcast season.
It is.
It is podcast season. But...
Oh. So... A movie that I liked but didn't get, that I don't think a lot of other people liked, was Ready Player One.
I liked it.
I
thought it was really good.
I think I read the book, and the book definitely goes into a lot more detail than the movie, which I mean, you can't go into as much detail as the book. But I think the movie was a lot better than the book.
The movie pays off a whole lot visually.
Oh yeah,
because like the big scene at the end, the fighting scene with all these characters coming together, was just what? Like, have you ever played VR chat? It's kind of like that, but a whole lot better.
Oh yeah,
because I saw if you play video games, right? If you're a huge fan of video games, it's really fun to watch, even though it's just kind of like, oh, we have Master Chief in here or a bunch of Spartans, like that's great.
The Ninja Turtles are
there, and then you have like Gears of War, like
Tracer, Overwatch is in it.
Overwatch, Tracer, and just Iron Giant.
Oh yeah, that was. And what's funny is that's not in the book.
No.
That was something that they added in.
Major selling point that they decided to do.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we have the Iron Giant.
Because the book focuses more on 80s references than the movie did. The movie had in a lot more current stuff.
Yeah.
And which, I mean, it's smart. Like, it was good.
I really like the technology of it too.
Yeah.
Like, I like the virtual reality, like, oh, we have these like things on our body that have us like gets us to feel things.
Yeah, it puts in inputs from the game.
Yeah, which is kind of creepy, and it would also scare the hell out of me. You know, if I was playing like Halo in VR and I'm wearing that suit and someone shoots me in the back, I'm gonna feel that.
Oh yeah.
And that's gonna scare me because I'm like, oh god, I'm being shot in the back, but I'm not being shot in the back. Or someone shoots me in the head. You get an understanding of what someone's gonna be like when it shoots you in the head. But
well, I don't think they had anything for their head.
well, they had the thing that goes over. Maybe
It was just in that.
It's not like
IOI. Those in the war room when they had all the people with the helmets on. Like
That's
I think
true.
they were the only ones. But yeah, it was really good. I really liked it. That was like one of the movies that I was looking forward to, and I'm glad it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And decent.
I didn't give much. It gave some emotion to it. Where
Yeah, but I mean, then again, like
it's kind of like a Willy Wonka story too.
yeah,
Where it's like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to do this, and you're like, you're right.
Mhm.
Good job. And then you open up the actual thing. Like here's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's just a room. But it's a good thing. And they're finding an Easter egg that is literally just an egg.
right.
It's so good. And I wish that I don't know. I like the story, and I'm glad that it's a one-off thing.
I would recommend the
I
book.
would not want to see a sequel of Ready Player One.
No, yeah,
It pays
I
off
don't
so
think they're
much. I don't
going
want
to.
to see where these characters are afterwards.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to because there's not a sequel to the book. Anyways.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Like, don't make a sequel if you don't need one.
Yeah, I would say I would recommend the book, but there are parts when it does get very boring, and they definitely switched up a lot of different things that the characters do. But yeah, it was good. It was really good and fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But two of my favorites out of all the movies that I've seen in 2018 were Upgrade and Searching.
Both of which I haven't seen.
Well,
And
let me tell you, they're good.
I know that they're good. I've heard that they're good, and I really want to see Upgrade.
Upgrade is basically like the lead for Upgrade looks so much like Tom Hardy. It's
Yeah, that's like because when I saw it, I was like, is that Tom Hardy?
it's not.
And he acts like Tom Hardy most of the time too.
Yeah.
Because like the one scene that I saw from Upgrade was like I think the guy like there's someone that's like fighting him, and he's like, no, I don't want to do this, and it's like,
Yeah.
hold on, let me take control, and he does like it's like stop, I don't want to do this.
It was definitely like it was just I'm gonna have to watch it again, but it was just so cool. Because I remember some of the cool things that they did with it, where there was like it was a lot about body enhancements.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was this guy I remember who had a shotgun embedded into his arm, and he would like load it in from his forearm and shoot it out from the bottom of his hand, and it was just like this cool. It was just so cool to see like all these types of like gimmicks and stuff that they did.
Like seeing someone like shoot a gun out of their hand, like like Spider-Man sort of thing. It reminds me of Assassin's Creed 2 with it's like I have a gun in my hand, like oh bang, like how did you do that, Leonardo da Vinci?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Upgrade was so cool. I definitely recommend seeing it. But aside from that, Searching was really unique.
What is Searching about?
Searching is about let me pull it up. Searching was about I forget the main guy's name. Hold on a second. It's Searching was about a guy whose daughter goes missing, and it's all shot from the perspective of computer screens and webcams.
Oh yeah, I heard about that because I remember talking about, Unfriended or whatever it is. Like
yeah.
That, what is that horror movie where?
No, yeah, it's Unfriended.
Yeah.
But it does it way better, I think. It
I
stars
like
John Cho and Deborah Messing.
Oh, that's a weird cast, but interesting.
Yeah, but John Cho, his character, his daughter goes missing,
Mm-hmm.
and you basically follow him on trying to find where she is based on like her social media and like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good. Like it was done really well.
We're talking about movies that was in theaters.
Yeah,
But there was a movie that was also in theaters that was hard to find that I've seen.
8th grade.
Okay, I still want to see that. But
Yeah,
I'm talking about Mandy.
Oh yeah,
That
I didn't see
Nicolas
that.
Cage movie. Holy shit. That was an experience. Because I went down to Columbus because one of the theaters in Columbus like shows indie movies and all that. And wow. I feel so bad. I feel so bad because I was watching the movie and it was definitely very interesting. And I got so caught up into it, but I fell asleep. And I woke up.
Obviously, it wasn't that interesting.
No. It was very late because we went at like midnight or whatever. And it was just so interesting, but I fell asleep and I woke up around like halfway through the movie. Oh no. And whatever. I woke up halfway through the movie around the major climax of it. And I was just completely like, it felt like I was thrown into like some random world. And it just became so bloody and gory and like it's if you haven't seen Mandy, it's Nicolas Cage is like a log cutter and his wife's an artist or something, and they live in some forest where like.
So he's a lumberjack.
He's a lumberjack, right? My bad. I don't know why I just said. But they live in this wooded area, and there's a religious religious cult that kind of runs the area, and they find that they believe that his girlfriend is a sinner. And I think they burned her, like just set her on fire.
So they thought she was a witch.
Yeah, they thought she was a witch, and they just burned her. And Nicolas Cage just kind of goes into this mode of, you killed my girlfriend, you're now going to die. And he goes so religious about it, and like meets, what's his name? He's been in a lot of stuff, but he's in this movie. But he just kind of says you're going to need something heavier than arrows. And this prompts Nicolas Cage to make a big axe and go to every single one of these people in this religious cult and just kill them. Just kill them brutally. And it's so brutal. And then he takes like some sort of drug that they have lying around. And that just makes the whole movie even more crazy. And then he gets to the point where he kills the villain and he literally like holds his head and crushes it. It's a trip.
Yeah.
But it's visually stunning because they have moments where like it cuts to like what Nicolas Cage is thinking about, sort of, and it's animated. It's 2D animated and it's visual. It's very, it's crazy. It's scary. It scares me. It doesn't scare me. It makes me uncomfortable, but in a good way. And like that was a good like movie that made me uncomfortable, but a movie that made me uncomfortable that I didn't like was The Nun.
Oh, I didn't see The Nun. Nope.
That was such a horrible movie. I remember sitting there cringing in my seat, and it's just so bad.
I had a feeling it would be bad. And I didn't see anything of it other than, I think, just random ads. And
if you saw the ads and like they showed the scary parts of it or like the uneasy parts, that's all that's in the movie.
Oh, well.
Because there's a moment where like the shot kind of does this pan around him to show what's going on in the back, and you don't see anything there, and you're just counting. When's the scare gonna come? When's the scare? Oh, it doesn't come, but wait, it does come. It's sort of that thing, because like they have to, it's jump scare the movie.
Yeah.
That's mostly what these movies are nowadays. It's jump scare the movie. If you can't, and they always have a formula when it comes to jump scares, where okay, nothing's happening, jump scare. But like they change it up to the point where you expect the jump scare now, so they're just like, nothing's happening. Oh, there's no jump scare. Then there's a jump scare.
Yeah, except for Hereditary.
Hereditary. That's another movie I didn't see.
I haven't seen it, but I've just heard good things about how it gets away from that jump scare stigma in horror films. And it's just more suspense, I guess.
Right. I don't know. I needed to see Hereditary.
Yeah, I wanted to see that, and
but, like,
I didn't see Annihilation
I'm just not
either.
a fan. Like, it's not that I don't watch scary movies because I'm scared of them. I just don't like them.
Yeah,
because they try to be scary when they're not, and like they try to be.
It's almost like laughable.
They try to be funny. It's
just like laughable how they're like.
It's laughable how they think it's scary. It's sort of like The Mist. Any Stephen King movie that's kind of made. It's
except for It. The new It was really good.
It was pretty good because the actors know how to perform, and they did pretty well. Because a story like that, okay, a clown who's just some random spider creature, spoiler alert, because that's what happens in the original It, is actually...
And a turtle from space has to come and save him.
Yeah, God.
I hope that shows up in the next It Chapter 2.
I mean, if they're going
I want to see
what
that
happens,
space turtle. I didn't see the original.
if they're going for the original what happened in It Stephen King, then they might just do that. I probably won't see It Chapter 2 because of spiders. I hate spiders.
How can you hate spiders but love Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse?
Do we want to transition into that? Because I'm done talking about The Nun. The Nun was just awful.
I want to hit very quickly on a movie that I wanted to see, but I've heard how it didn't do good, but it was actually a good movie, Bumblebee.
I understand that.
I heard that it was good, but from one of the things that, and honestly, it's still in theaters, so I might go see it.
Yeah.
But from what I heard, there was a scene in it at the end where, like, the whole movie, he's a bug.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a Volkswagen bug.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the movie, he sees a Camaro and is like, I'm going to be that now. And it's the Camaro from the first Transformers movie that Michael Bay makes. So it ties it back into that when they were just, I thought they were just retconning all of those. They were just like throwing those all away.
Because, like, if anybody knows me, they know how much I hate Michael Bay.
Yeah.
And just how cash grabby he is. He doesn't care about the people that watch his films. And I just hate him, and I would never want to work with him if I ever got the chance to, which is shutting down a big opportunity, apparently. But I just don't like the guy. I don't work with him. And I hate a lot of the movies that he's done, especially, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I watched it.
Watch the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action.
Like, just watch the live action one where, like, they go to birthday parties.
That one, those were the best, except for maybe not the third one or the second one, maybe just the first one.
But no, I have a big gripe with Michael Bay, and then, like, when I saw that Bumblebee was not directed by Michael Bay, I thought, hey, now it's promising. You know, now that I hear that it is doing good, but it ties into Michael Bay, is kind of.
That's what I think. I did hear that he sees B sees the Camaro and is like, I'm gonna be the Camaro now, and, like, is no longer the bug. But
or maybe he just looks at it like, oh, that's interesting, and maybe they'll just kind of like.
I think he actually did change into it.
Oh, he jumped into it.
Like he was like he scanned, you know how the transform they scanned it and then he becomes it. Like I think he scanned it and was like, no, I'm a Camaro.
I'm a Camaro now.
I'm an old Camaro. But I guess the movie is actually doing good.
That's good to hear.
Its budget was around 100 to 137 million, and its box office right now is 377 million.
That's good to hear because I actually did like the first Transformers.
And it has good ratings right now. Like it's on IMDb, it's a 7.3 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 92%. So I mean, I guess it is doing good. I don't think a lot of people went to see it though.
I think because they just how Transformers has been recently, they just didn't want to deal with it. But I guess because it's doing well, it's probably gonna make some back when it comes to like other distribution like DVD, Blu-ray, streaming. It might make that money back eventually. But I guess it's starting off is probably not good because people have been hurt, and I understand that. I really understand that.
Yeah. But before we get into the Spider-Verse, I also want to touch on 8th grade.
8th grade.
Because that was a movie that I really want to see still. Haven't seen it. And it's still at a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. Mm-hmm. So I really want to see this movie.
Yeah, Bo Burnham, he just knows what to do when it comes to anything. He's just, what do they call those people that are just like very good, like a virtuoso, I would say. Like he's a good writer, good comedian.
He's a triple threat.
He's a jack of all trades. But no, I haven't seen 8th grade 2, and I know that everyone got an emotional reaction out of it. Yeah. Even people that said like they don't get emotionally reacted like from those movies.
See, that's why I want to see it because, I mean, even in Crazy Rich Asians, I was just like, I felt that little emotion.
It's like I felt a
little something.
Because like each of the characters in like going back to that Crazy Rich Asians, like the characters seem genuine. Their emotions seem understandable.
It was
even
real.
if like the people they're dealing with are like crazy like Cruella de Vil like Cinderella mom sort of thing.
Overacting.
Like overacted, sort of like you are. I don't believe that you're a real person actually saying.
Over-exaggerated.
Yeah, like I don't believe that you're a real person acting like this. But the people that are in that are genuine people. Even her friend are genuine people. Like when you look, like when how she reacts to things when she's like, "Your dude lives here." What? Like you have like you've dealt with people like that, so it's like it's understandable. They play it uniquely.
Right.
And I think that's what 8th grade will probably deal with too, because when it comes to stuff where it's like, oh, I'm in 8th grade, oh God.
I mean, if you can remember what it was like for you, like you to be in 8th grade.
I remember 8th grade, sadly.
I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely an awkward time, especially for me, only because where I grew up, there was like a bunch of different elementary schools, and in second and third grade, there were a lot of people that I met that weren't in my first grade because I was at a different school.
Right.
And then I moved to this other school for 2 years for second and third. Then went back to the old one that I was at for first grade, and didn't see any of those people that I met in second and third grade until middle school. So it was like a weird like reunion thing of like I remember you. It was just a weird and like almost awkward thing because I was in a whole nother friend group in that point, and then it followed into high school as well.
Right. Because like I remember in 8th grade for me, I didn't click with any other group.
Yeah.
Like I had like my group of friends. It was
8th grade, middle school, high school. That's an awkward time,
8th grade, middle school, high school, even sometimes in like maybe 5th grade or 6th grade.
You don't know who you really are until
you're
probably
about to
in
go
college.
into high school, yeah.
Well, for me,
you
really don't know yourself until you like get into college.
Yeah, you think you know yourself when you're a senior in high school. Like, I understand how the world works, but then you get into college and just how much stuff can weigh down on you. And yeah.
Yeah, 8th grade. I definitely want to see it. I'm gonna I might try to find it and watch it this weekend.
I want to know where it is because I know, what is it? I have Amazon Prime now. I can probably get it.
Yeah, it might be on there.
If it's out, I don't know how it is, but I'm definitely gonna try to find it.
But yeah, so Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
We're gonna dive into that.
What a film! Best film of 2018.
Really?
I would say it was the best film of 2018. The best film that I watched, or at least the best animated film that I've seen in a whole long time.
Only because I know it's a big franchise thing. I don't want to say it's number one for me because I want to praise more movies like Searching and Upgrade. Those smaller budgeted films that have really cool ideas that not a lot of people like are interested in seeing, that don't have a lot of hype around them, but are actually good.
Yeah.
And I mean, Into the Spider-Verse was like...
Yeah, let me reiterate. I think it was the best Spider-Man film.
I don't know.
Of the year.
I was gonna say.
It was the only Spider-Man film of the year. But it was the best Spider-Man film of the year for me. And I think definitely where I want to see more Spider-Man from.
Yeah, I don't know if they're...
Because, like...
I actually, on Instagram...
At the time we're talking about this, the Far From Home trailer came out.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see that. But, like, I'm still kind of riding on the Spider-Man that, I saw in Spider-Verse. And that's because it's more of a Miles Morales story than it is the other story. And that's why I like Miles Morales more than I like Peter Parker, because I feel like we've seen so much Peter Parker.
I don't know. Peter B. Parker was definitely the best.
Peter B. Parker is probably the best Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Because he kind of knows, he's been around the block, sort of. Like, he's...
Oh, yeah. It was great to see how he's, like... how old he was in that movie, but then like you would see him just like flip around and do all this stuff like oh yeah, he's been doing it for years. Like he knows like everything, especially when like they're in the vent and he's like basically like, oh, I know what he's gonna say, like you have 24 hours to do this, and then he says it and it's just like he's like, see, like he's been doing that kind of stuff for so long.
Like he calls out most of the like, oh, okay, so this hasn't happened yet, so I can continue talking about this. Like, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
He, like, that's a good Peter Parker, but, like, even then, he's not the star of the film.
Yeah.
It's mostly Miles and how he becomes, this
his
character.
Universe is Spider-Man.
Yeah. And, like, even the twist of the villain that was coming after him, for the most, like, that's not that surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, that was that's probably the most unsurprising part of the movie was, oh no, his uncle. Oh no. It's always the uncle.
Always.
No one's,
I think a lot of people also knew that Aaron Davis is Prowler.
yeah, like everyone knew that.
Everyone even called it out for Homecoming because they were like, "Oh, that's Miles Morales' uncle, like Donald Glover,
Yeah.
Glover's character, and he's the Prowler." Like, people were saying that, like in that movie.
Yeah, but like even then, like the twist was kind of like, okay, I saw it coming.
Yeah, but that makes me think now.
But
with
like
Marvel,
I like how it resolved itself. It wasn't like Prowler was like, oh, I actually have to do this.
Resolved itself.
He had internal conflict.
Yeah, it resolved itself real quick, and I don't know if that's just because I don't know the Miles Morales storyline of where because I know that Miles Morales is becomes Spider-Man because that universe Peter Parker dies.
Yeah.
And then he becomes Spider-Man. But I didn't know like is that how it happened where his uncle dies in front of him just like they're villain, like they're rivals or something, and then he finds out like did it happen the same way?
I don't know if it happened the same exact way, but it definitely happened similarly. Because Into the Spider-Verse is kind of its own thing. It didn't have a comic storyline, right?
No, there is a comic graphic novel, I believe, of Spider-Verse, I think it's called.
But did it have anything to do with like what we saw?
No, not at all.
I don't think it had Spider-Gwen, or it didn't have
Spider-Noir,
John Mulaney and Nicolas Cage, you know?
The Spider-Verse comic went heavily into all the different Spider men and women that exist. So, and it brought them all into this big, this was like a smaller scale, but if you've seen the end credits scene, it definitely opens up the fact that there are the other Spider-Men that exist.
Like the Miguel
Spider-Man 90.
Like they play that off with. I'm so pissed because we walked out of that movie like, oh, there's nothing at the end of the credits.
I really didn't think there would be. I thought the end. I should have stayed at the end because that was such a.
Yeah. It was visually stunning.
Oh, it was.
That
it
was probably
genius.
the most really visually stunning film I've seen since Doctor Strange.
I think Sony's trying to get that animation style patented.
I hope they do.
And trademarked. I'm pretty sure they're.
If they do, then I don't know if that's. No, wait, I don't.
I think they're trying to get it patented. So if nobody else can do it.
But even then, it will still be compared to the Spider-Man Spider-Verse animation style.
Yeah.
Because that's a really interesting animation style, and it works so well.
Yeah, and half the time I forgot, in my head when I was watching it, I'm like, this looks more 2D than 3D.
Yeah.
But then there were times when it would switch to a 3D aspect.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, this is in 3D. And the second time I went to see it, I noticed the more 3D aspects of it.
Like the world itself, I noticed the world in 3D more than I do the characters, but they blend so well.
Yeah.
That it's hard to tell. And there's also scenes where someone pointed out where it brought me out of the immersion, when they were running and it looked choppy.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that scene where they were running on the log and it looked a little bit choppy.
Yeah.
But that didn't take me out of the movie. It's just oh, okay, I noticed it. But I was still brought into it. The whole final sequence where they're riding that subway train in this mess of whatever is beautiful. I mean, it's
a trippy movie.
It's a very trippy movie, but it doesn't take me out of it so much. And of course, the only thing that I had to look away from was because I hate spiders, and they got so visual with the spider bite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that that triggered me.
Really?
Yeah, it triggered me because I don't like seeing spiders that up close. I don't like seeing things that have more than 2 eyes. I don't like seeing things that have more than 2 legs or 4 legs, right? Wow. But I don't know, spiders creep me out most of the time. It might just be because of their faces, because they don't have pupils or anything like that.
Yeah. But going back, I was gonna mention how on Instagram I saw someone. I think someone faked the post, but they made it look like they were at a preview screening for something, and it was in the same graphic of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
But it was blue and said Spider-Man Extended or Universe or something like that.
Ooh.
And I think that's what it was. But it was I'm pretty sure it's fake. but it was like a tease of like that's gonna be the next one.
Like,
I think is it Edge of Time? No, it's not Edge of Time. That's a game.
speaking of the games, like the Spider-Man games, really good. And I also realized last night that the guy who does the music, like the score for the Spider-Man game, did the score for Daredevil, and also Mass Effect Andromeda, which I still think is a good game, but I can't talk about that.
Yeah, we're only talking about movies that
Came out,
that came out in 2018.
Yeah, I mean Mass Effect came out. No, that came out in 2017. Oh, bump the mic. Didn't want to do that.
Don't bump the mic.
I'm like moving my hand. But no, Spider-Verse was a very good film. And like it's a movie that I looked at and thought, yeah, I want to see that. And when I saw it, I'm glad I really saw that film. Especially after
I wanted to see it when I first saw the tease or whatever that they made of it.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to go back and see that teaser and see how much it definitely changed.
And like I'm always wary when it comes to new Spider-Man properties because I want to be sure that they, that it turns out well. And especially since, we lost Stan Lee that year or last year too.
Mm-hmm.
And this being like Spider-Man being his like favorite property, watching it do well is really good.
Oh yeah. It had a great cameo. I think might be my favorite cameo.
That was my favorite, yeah. That was like it was that moment when you looked at Stan Lee in the thing and like, oh, that's Stan Lee, and you're like, oh, that's Stan Lee.
Yeah.
It's also kind of odd too, because Stan Lee is talking about Spider-Man who died, but Stan Lee is dead and Spider-Man's still a thing. I don't know.
How long have we been going?
Well, we've been going for a while. We're probably gonna end soon because it's 1:38.
Oh yeah, we've been
gone for a good little while.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We can probably just end on the fact that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was a pretty good film, a very good film. It was my favorite film of the year, at least to say that. It beats. It kind of gets up to the point where most of the movies I like that came out this year were Marvel. But,
I really just like how stylized it was.
But like 5 Marvel properties came out last year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I can't really say that. If I really liked a movie that wasn't Marvel, it probably wouldn't have to be Crazy Rich Asians.
Mia 2.
What?
I said Mamma Mia 2.
No, we're not. No, it wasn't Mamma Mia 2. But no, I liked Crazy Rich Asians the most. Ant-Man and the Wasp also came out last year, but
I only went to see it tie into Infinity War, which it did.
It tied in pretty well. It was a good film on its own.
Yeah.
You didn't have to see it, but it was definitely there for fun. Or at least people who want to understand who the hell the Wasp is.
Mm-hmm. Black Klansman did not want to see it.
Want to see, absolutely. And what was it? Thank you for calling or something like that.
Oh yeah. No, sorry to bother you.
Sorry to bother you. Yeah.
That's on the movie list, and I did want to touch on that because I really want to see that.
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
I want to see. I really.
Also, Bohemian Rhapsody. Want to see
Bohemian Rhapsody. Haven't seen, want to see, and I'm want to see. But I hear that it's really good.
What's another one? No, I was just looking at it. I have a list. Oh, A Star Is Born.
A Star Is Born. Yeah, the Lady Gaga and
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper. Yeah.
Yep.
That's like the fifth iteration of that movie.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was like it's been like redone so many times.
And like apparently it's been crap before. Like the first one was really good. The second time was also kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
The third time no. The fourth time also no. And I guess this time they finally found what worked. Not recasting whoever they had before. But Lady Gaga holds her own. So does Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. A couple other movies, that I kind of wanted to see was Overlord. I wanted to see that. I've heard mixed things about it. I still might see it just to get my own opinion on it. It definitely sounded interesting. Isle of Dogs. I really wanted to see that.
Isle of Dogs. I have not seen. And that stars Bryan Cranston, right?
I think he's in it. Yeah.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston. Like,
There's a lot of people in it though.
He's such a God. Bryan Cranston. A movie that I haven't seen that I wanted to see was Bad Times at El Royale.
Oh yeah, I heard good things about that too.
Yeah, I heard good about that. I didn't hear good about Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yeah.
Because I thought Wreck-It Ralph 2 was kind of just gonna be.
The first one was great.
Like, yeah, it was. But like when I looked at Wreck-It Ralph 2, I thought this is like an episode of Futurama.
Yeah.
It felt like an episode of Futurama, or like that episode of Fairly Odd Parents where he goes into the internet.
Oh yeah.
It felt like that, and like, did we really need to see this? I like seeing like classic Disney princesses in like animation though.
In New Age.
Yeah, in New Age animation, like that's very interesting. But I don't know, it didn't pique my interest, and I didn't like it.
The Mary Poppins remake.
The Mary Poppins remake. Christopher Robin, I think.
Was that? No, yeah, that was. I think.
Christopher Robin came out. There's a lot that came out, and a lot that I didn't see, and that kind of sucks. But this year, I want to see more movies.
Oh yeah. We are definitely going to be. I don't know. I think we're gonna do
a movie 2 a week, maybe, or maybe just one movie.
Yeah. Do you want to break down like how? Because I mean, honestly, this isn't going to be the typical conversation of every podcast.
No, yeah, we're not going to talk about like
this
movie came out and we haven't seen it.
No, yeah,
we're gonna like to see it.
Yeah, we're actually probably going to go out and see these movies, movies that pique our interest, and then come back for that Friday or something, and then talk about it.
Yeah.
And those episodes might actually be shorter.
They might be shorter, but we'll also have guests. This episode was mostly just for you guys to understand who we are and how we kind of roll with our dynamic, and just how we talk about things and where we go whenever we get on tangents, which happens a whole lot. But every other episode, we're going to have a guest. If you want to become a guest, and if you are on Kent campus, a DMP student or part of KSUIF, sign up to be a guest on the KSUIF website. That'll be on the KSUIF.com, or no, not KentStateFilms.com / the KSUIF podcast. If you can't find that URL, because I'm not smart about the URLs, I run the website and I don't even know what the URL is. You can just go to you can just go to KentStateFilms.com, head to projects, and you go to the KSUIF podcast. There's a form you can fill out at the end of the page. If you want to get on the podcast, we already have a couple people that are on the list. We don't have times about when they're going to be on the podcast, and we are in talks about bringing them on the podcast. But if you are interested in being part of this and have your own little thing to say, please fill out that form, and we'll try to get you on the podcast. This has been a good first episode, I think.
Yeah, it was.
We went a little bit longer than I thought we would have.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of movies that
There was a lot of movies, and we didn't realize that until later on, because I had my own list. But yeah, you can expect these episodes every Monday at noon most of the time. I want to say noon because I'll never know when I actually do get them up. But they're edited over the weekend and they're brought up. You can find us on. Well, let's just do that. If you want to know more about the KSUIF, or if you want to know more about us, you can follow KSUIF on Twitter at KSUIF2. Or if you want to understand a little bit more about me and Mike, you can follow me on Twitter at @TheOneLargeCat. And do you?
I'm not. I don't use Twitter anymore.
You're not on Twitter, but
no.
You just don't want to.
No, I'm not gonna give out my.
You don't want to give out your. You don't want to give out your Instagram.
No, yeah.
They're eventually gonna find it if they actually.
Yeah, probably. I did say my.
But no, this has been a good episode. Thank you for listening, everybody, and I hope that you have a very fun week. Mike, do you want to say anything to anybody else?
You know what? No, this is just. I just want to say this was a nice episode. I definitely can't wait to have guests on.
I can't wait to see where this goes. All right. Have a good week.
Bye.